and Gretchen Fritz will prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm, holster, and ammunition selection. A comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble and even how to deal with home invasions. Firearm, ammunition, holster, class notebook are provided. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invites you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com.
Or call 815-741-3474. That's 815-741-3474. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
You remember a simpler time when family fun was about having fun. It didn't include the kids glued to their tablets or smartphones. Well, real family fun is back at Gobert's Pumpkin Patch. For almost 70 years, Gobert's has been Chicagoland's family destination for fall fun.
This was the most fun day ever. My parents were there, my kids were there. There was a pumpkin patch, a maze, a haunted house, slides, a train, a fresh market, and there was so much more. I loved it.
It's a family tradition for us to visit Gobert's every October. The pumpkins are great, the attractions are fun, and the apple cider donuts are to die for.
Loved it. One price to get in, and almost all the activities were free. My kids had a blast.
Listen to the kids.
My mom loves the homemade caramel apples.
I have to say, the pumpkin cannon is cool.
They got a pumpkin-eating dinosaur. The live giraffe is really cool.
I love the jumping pillow and the pumpkin express train ride.
Gobert's Pumpkin Patch in Pingree Grove. Pick apples, explore the pumpkin patch, play games, ride the train. Gobert'sPumpkinPatch.com. Harvesting family memories.
Bodie Taney, author of the incredible best-selling Zion Chronicles and Zion Covenant series, returns to the setting of Israel in On the Mountain of the Lord, the first book in the new series, the Elijah Chronicles. In On the Mountain of the Lord, Taney teams up with Holy Land history expert Ray Bentley to give her dedicated historical fiction fans a thrilling story set in the world's most sacred and mysterious sites. Come along on a journey from London to the farthest corners of the world with Jack Garrison, a man who has lost his faith after a life-altering and devastating event. Jack is sent on a fact-finding mission in Israel and Palestine, where he's attacked by radical Islamic terrorists and is being tracked down by an enemy who wants to stop him from finding the truth, that the Bible's prophecy about the nation of Israel and the world's future is true and unfolding before his eyes. Order your copy of Bodie Taney and Ray Bentley's new book, On the Mountain of the Lord, Elijah Chronicles, at Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com, and select Costco stores.
AM 560, The Answer. It's time for On Target Radio, Chicagoland's only radio show dedicated to the red meat issues that affect your life, from gun control to freedom of speech. Now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues. Here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
Welcome to On Target Radio. Tonight, David's rant of the week is, can anyone solve the problems of Harvey? David and Gretchen's guests in the studio tonight are Anthony McCaskill, who plans to be the city of Harvey's next mayor, and John Howard, who previously operated the controversial Harvey shooting range. So be sure to give us a call at 312-642-5600, or watch us live on YouTube, On Target Radio, or go to Facebook, like our page, On Target Radio, and ask a question there.
And now, from the seething cauldron of personal opinion, it's time for David's Rant of the Week.
Well, by some accounts, the village of Harvey is the most corrupt city in Illinois. I'm not sure just exactly how that was determined, and it's difficult to picture any municipality beating out Chicago for that title. But one thing for sure, Harvey has more than its fair share of problems. I have a relationship with Harvey that goes back to 2014, when Harvey's mayor Eric Kellogg decided to shut down the town's gun range. He cited complaints about stray bullets landing in yards where children play and a mobile home in a trailer park adjacent to the range that reported bullets and shell casings in close proximity. Anyone who got a grade of at least D in high school physics would quickly determine that claim was bogus. Bullets hitting the mobile home would have only been possible if they were cousins of the famous JFK dancing bullet. And the cartridge casings found on the property, well, I've yet to see any firearm that throws an empty casing directly forward 600 yards. But the plot thickens. The range fell under the purview of Harvey's Park District. The Park District's attorney came out strong, saying there's absolutely no problems. If there were problems, I think that it would be reflected by the law enforcement agents that are actually using this. The Illinois State Police is one of the tenants, he said. I can tell you that if there are any gun holes in property anywhere around the city of Harvey, that it does not come out of this gun range. No, it was all a sham. But as my old neighbor Paul Harvey used to say, and now the rest of the story. It just so happened that Harvey Park District Vice President Anthony McCaskill was going to run against Mayor Kellogg in the next election. If you're not familiar with the mayor, it would be safe to say that he is the take-charge type of individual, and probably doesn't look favorably upon anyone who would challenge his job. I became involved because a good friend of mine, John Howard, was managing the range and wanted me to act as an expert witness in the administrative hearing scheduled to determine the fate of the range. Going up against Mayor Kellogg was interesting, and the upshot was the range was closed regardless of the laws of physics or logic. The whole thing has more than a passing glance of irony. Harvey was founded by Harvey Hopkins and Dwight Moody of the Moody Bible Institute in Chicago. The plan was to create a model city with a blend of strong Christianity and capitalism that was modeled after the town of Pullman. The village was subsequently incorporated in 1891 and cycled through periods of feast and famine. Things went fairly well until the 1960s, and racial violence saw the village spiral downward, both sociologically and economically. Harvey became home to the likes of the Black P-Stones and other violent gangs. What followed in the ensuing years was a steady decline into chaos and political corruption. By the 1980s, Harvey was home to the Black P-Stones, the Black Gangster Disciples, the El Rookins, and more. Just when people thought it couldn't get any worse, in 1985, the FBI uncovered a scam being committed by the police department. Members of the Harvey PD were staging phony drug raids in the suburbs of Phoenix and Dixmoor in order to steal drugs and drug money from the dealers. Meanwhile, back in City Hall, Mayor David Johnson was being investigated for mismanaging local government funds and hiring his cronies and providing them with higher-than-normal salaries. Police and government corruption would continue to plague the village up to today. Harvey won the title of one of the most dangerous suburbs in the Chicago area. More gangs would arrive in the community, such as Four Corner Hustlers, New Breeds, Conservative Vice Lords, and Latin Kings. Most recently, Harvey was fired about half of its public safety employees because the village can't pay them and its bills. As a result, the courts ordered Harvey to raise its already astronomical property taxes to fund the public safety pensions. Today, almost 40% of Harvey residents fall below the poverty line, and unemployment is over 20%. And then there's the water. Harvey buys Lake Michigan drinking water from Chicago and sells it to its residents, plus the residents of Dixmoor, Posen, Homewood, East Hazel Crest, and Hazel Crest. The law specifies the income from such an arrangement must go to water-related expenses. Somehow, Harvey missed a payment or two to Chicago and has an outstanding water bill of $22 million. You know. As difficult as it may be to believe, all this just scratches the surface of the corruption and mismanagement in Harvey. Mayor Kellogg's term expires in 2019, and McCaskill is taking another run at the job. Even if he dethrones Kellogg, the question that remains is, can anyone solve the problems of Harvey? And that, Gretchen, is my rant for the week.
It does seem to be a fairly tangled ball of yarn.
That's good. That works, yeah. By chance, just, by sheer chance, we happen to have both of those people here this evening. Anthony McCaskill, who and for the past 4 years has been Park District President, and also our good friend John Howard, who now owns the U.S. Fugitive Enforcement Bureau. The reason John is here is because John was running the range back in those days, and so has a lot of insight into this. And gentlemen, welcome to both of you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good to be back.
If you have questions, give us a call, 312-642-5600. I guess the first thing that really comes to mind, and we'll get into economics and all the other stuff in a bit, Anthony, but why do you want to run for mayor of Harvey?
Well, I'm a Harvey Knight, so I was born in 1974. I've been in Harvey my entire life, raised my family, my children. My wife is actually from Harvey as well. And when I was growing up, I just want to see the same things and the same opportunities that the children don't have today. And so I want to be there to make sure that everyone has the same opportunities that I had as I was growing up in the city of Harvey.
It's going to be a really tough job if you get it. I mean, as you well know, there's a lot of ills in Harvey. I mean, I don't even know how you start, and I do want to talk about some specific ones when we come back from the break. But how you psych yourself up for this sort of a thing?
It's daunting, but with the grit team, I think we can take care of the people and the residents and move it forward.
And it is home to you. I mean, you have a family. You're there, so I mean, you have obviously a vested interest in doing it, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So, are you in campaign mode now?
Every day I wake up, every day I go to sleep, I'm in campaign mode 24 hours a day.
And the election is when?
We have a primary now, so we passed a referendum. We have a primary the the last Tuesday in February, and the general elections in April of 2019.
So it's coming up.
Oh yeah.
Do you have an opponent in the primary?
There's some people that say they want to run, but I don't know who the names are. But we're gonna keep on pushing.
Yeah, and here's the biggest thing. John is the guy that linked me up with John Fairman, who I have a lot of respect for John. But the thing that we discovered with John, of course, it's running for sheriff of Cook County is a lot bigger task. But do you have boots on the ground? You have an army working for you, basically.
Yeah. And we have a lot of community people, some outside interests, and some people just want to see Harvey do well.
It does have it has a very long history of being an exemplary community until it sort of fell. But it's certainly, and it's well positioned. It's on the south side. It's in a good area.
Oh yeah.
And one of the things I do want to talk about when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about. You can't do anything until you stop the corruption, and so that we need to just get into that subject. And while that sounds like a big deal, which of course it is a big deal, then we'll get into the financial stuff. And when people wrap their brain around that, I really want to hear that. But the interesting thing is, during the years that you have been with the Park District, yes, you were, and I don't mean to step on people's toes, I don't know, but to the best of my knowledge, you were the only governmental portion of Harvey that was positive, actually paid your bills, paid your employees.
Yes.
You actually did well. Is that not right?
That is absolutely true. So we, at the Park District, we've taken the Park District and we've changed the image. And when I first got there, we were like $20,000 behind in our pensions. And so what we did is we just did common sense arithmetic. We didn't spend more than we got out, and we actually dropped the debt from $4.3 million to our debt is like $260,000 now. So we're still trying to push to get to a zero balance deficit.
And that's been in 4 years?
3.5, actually.
3.5 years.
Yes, sir.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That really is.
Yeah. Well, when we come back, I'll give you a small insert on how we did it. It's really not that hard. But the one thing, Dave, you mentioned is how do you stop the corruption? The first thing is you have to stop people from stealing. And once you stop people from stealing, then everything else works its way out.
Well, we're going to take a break. We got to run a couple of announcements and some ads and things like that. And when we come back, we'll talk a little more about that. And I definitely want to talk about the corruption issue because that's a big deal. So all that and more when we return with On Target Radio. You're listening to AM 560.
The Answer.
My overrating's bad.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson.
I didn't know, too, that we could tip Uber drivers.
Didn't know.
This is new to me.
Every time you complete a ride, it pops up with a rating, and then if you want to add a tip. 2.5 Uber rating for Amy Jacobson, 4.88.
What?
Thank you for Dan Proft.
You just not even say anything to them when you get in the car?
Correct. That's the secret to getting a high Uber rating.
Chicago's Morning Answer. Weekday mornings starting at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Do you like your gun range bag? There's a really cool local company here in Chicagoland that makes the finest range bags anywhere. And these quality range bags are so inexpensive that I bet you won't hesitate to buy one. The Hackett range bags from Hackett Equipment have it all. There are compartmentalized pouches that hold 2 or 4 pistols, ammo, mags, and even targets. Basically everything you need for a day at the range in a stealth design that doesn't resemble a range bag. Nobody will know you're carrying firearms. Additionally, they're super heavy duty and will last a lifetime because Hackett bags are 30% heavier than typical range bags. And the price is unreal. The large pack is under $100 and the small one under $80. But if you visit gunrangebags.com and use the promo code AM560, you'll save an additional 10%. Hackett equipment bags really are range bags that can hack it. That's gunrangebags.com, promo code AM560. Gunrangebags.com. Do it now.
A storm is on the horizon, and you need to keep the lights on no matter what. Your business relies on the power being on 24/7. It's the lifeblood of your data and computer systems. Weather-related outages from the power company are not acceptable. Your need for a source of power that's reliable 24/7, along with round-the-clock service that can dispatch technicians to your site immediately, is mission critical. Your business needs Charles Equipment Energy Systems on speed dial. These are the big boys, not residential or solar, but reliable industrial generators for emergency backup or events. When you need more than a 100-foot extension cord plugged into a small engine generator, call Charles Equipment Energy Systems. They keep the lights on with rental generators for job sites or power outages. The storm season is here. Plan ahead. Call now to prepare generators for sudden damage and potential power outages. Call 630-834-6000. That's 630-834-6000 or charlesequipment.com. charlesequipment.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I've got ankylosing spondylitis, which is a arthritic disease, calcification of the major joints in the spine, and I just don't have the pain that I used to have. It's really kind of amazing. Balance of Nature has been an amazing product. I've recommended it to literally hundreds. I'm a pastor, and I've said, y'all just try it. Give it a month. Give it a try. And so hopefully they have. But it's an amazing product, and the neatest thing is when you first open up that bottle, and you can smell the fruits and vegetables. Every time I open one, I just get a big kick out of that.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Now return to On Target on AM 560. The Answer. If you have a question or opinion, the studio line is 312-642-5600. Now, here's your host, firearm expert and educator, David Lombardo.
And we're back with more On Target Radio. Give us a call, 312-642-5600. What are we laughing in the studio? This is business. We're not supposed to laugh.
Sorry, it's all, yes,
you're not supposed to have fun. This is serious journalism.
We're serious.
Yeah, fine, okay.
We're supposed to have fun, too. Serious fun.
So anyway, our guests this evening are Anthony McCaskill, who is going to be
ringing affirmative.
Absolutely. Exactly, going to be the next mayor of Harvey, Illinois. Why? We don't know why he wants to do that, but he wants to do that, and so he's a good guy. He's a friend of John Howard's, and we're going fine.
That was in the Mouseketeer song. Why? Because we like you.
Why? Because we like you. And, of course, John Howard is here because he's big and we'll let him go anywhere he feels like.
Because you don't tell John Howard what to do.
Right. I do answer to one person.
Okay, well, other than her.
You, Anthony, you were going to do a little tag on the
debt.
The debt thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So we want to talk about that because the debt, just the water bill, $22 million. How do you misplace $22 million?
I don't think you misplaced it. I think what happened was the property tax levy is the returns are so low, and instead of making the necessary cuts and the necessary adjustments, they kind of just like continue to keep the high payroll and they just ran out of money. And so they never made the adjustments necessary like we did at the Park District.
So you're saying that basically you think what they did is they were short over here, so they just took it from there?
Oh, absolutely.
And then there's nothing left to pay the city of Chicago.
Exactly. So what happened was, we collect about, on a good year, about 60% of the tax levy. And that's not a lot of money compared to other communities that collect 75, 85%. So, you have to maybe try to budget or rob Peter to pay Paul, and that's exactly what happened. They took the money from the water bill and was making payroll and paying the actual bills.
Well, and it's correct. My understanding is correct that they've laid off services people because they couldn't pay both their salaries and outstanding bills. Is that right?
Well, yeah, they did lay off, I think, a total of 40 service employees. But I think they're starting to bring them back because I think they won a court case where the comptroller is going to start releasing some money to them. So I think they're going to start bringing some people back.
But see, the interesting thing here is they cut services, which are the things that make people's lives livable.
Correct.
And they raise taxes, according to the state of Illinois anyway.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is you're charging, and it's not particularly what we would refer to as a high-income area. Correct. I mean, that's fair,
Correct.
Isn't it?
Correct.
So these people really can ill afford to have more taxes.
Absolutely.
So they're paying more money and getting less service.
Yes.
Why? Oh, wait, the model was Chicago. I remember now. Why anybody still lives there is amazing.
Well, I think some people, just love Harvey, and then some people really don't have a choice. And I think that's the ongoing issue is that we want to make sure that people that live there get the services that they need. And it's been going on for over 12 to 13 years of people not getting the services they believe they need.
So how do you deal with that? You get elected mayor, and you walk into the office the first day, and you're faced with a water bill for $22 million. You're faced with, maybe by then everybody will be hired back. I don't know, but you're still going to have the issue of you got salaries and, more important, pensions.
Yes.
A pension fund that has to be funded, which apparently has not.
Correct.
And then still pay the regular bills just to run the city.
Well, it was interesting because when I came to the Park District, and I'm just going to use this as an example, we were $4.3 million in the hole, and so we looked at payroll. Our payroll was $65,000 a month, and our annual budget is only $850,000 a month, right? So we had to say, okay, why are we paying more in payroll, and then we can't afford to pay our insurance and things like that? So what we did was we took and we shrunk down the payroll. So our payroll went from $65,000 to $15,000 a month, which is $50,000 in savings to the residents, and we put more services into the community than in the history of the Harvey Park District. But the key to our debt ratio was we added our debt into our annual budget. And so as we were paying the current bills, we also were paying the past due bills. And I think that's what helped us. I know that's what helped us get the deficit down so much tremendously, yes.
But how do you cut salaries? I mean, we've talked about this relative to the state of Illinois before, in that, people, some of the salaries and benefits particularly that they pay some employees are ridiculous. But when somebody comes to work for you, you say, I got this job, and they go, how much does it pay? And you go, what do you need? And they go, this, and you negotiate and you come up with something. You can't go back 10 years later, 15 years later and say, well, we're taking it away from you. That's not right. So how do you cut salaries?
So you look at the top management, right? You look at the top management. So for instance, at one time the Harvey Police Department had they had one chief, about 8 or 9 deputy chiefs, and maybe 5.
In Harvey?
Yeah, and 5 or 6 commanders. Well, their salaries was about $90,000 apiece. So you do the math, Dave.
Do they all have the same last name?
No, they don't. But you see what I'm saying? So when you talk about debt ratio and cutting costs, you don't cut costs from the bottom, you cut it from the top and down. And then you look at, the elected officials. The mayor's salary is $56,000. The alderman is $40,000. Harvey is the second highest outside of Chicago that aldermen or trustees make that type of money. $40,000 plus health benefits and a pension. Unheard of.
I guess the residents don't get to vote on that, do they?
They should.
Well, they should.
They should. Yeah. I mean, it was for a part-time person to make $40,000 a year as an alderman, and the conditions of the city, grass is taller than 7 feet, potholes are bigger than a swamp. How do you justify getting paid $40,000 and the city of Harvey looks like that?
Well, and you're right. I mean, when the first time we drove out there, we came in from the north, I think it was, and it looked like Beirut or something, like a war zone.
Yeah,
I mean, now there are nice parts of Harvey.
Oh yeah,
but if you come that way, that's not really. It's not going to be on a postcard.
Yeah. So if you look at Dave, if you look at the total, just elected officials, with their health benefits. By the way, the health benefits goes to their children and their spouse, and it's a 100% non-deductible. That's just unheard of.
That is
unheard of in,
I'm moving
in the
to
world.
Harvey. Can you
So
get a job
yeah,
for me?
and that's why everybody wants to run for office. But if you look at the total package, you're talking about $5 to $6 million just for elected officials. That's where the problem lies, because you have some people who do not have jobs, and that is their job, and that's not fair to the taxpayers.
It's not supposed to be a full-time job.
No, it's not.
You're listening to On Target Radio, AM 560 The Answer. We're talking this evening with Anthony McCaskill, who is going to be running for mayor of Harvey, the most, well, some people say the most corrupt city in Illinois, and also our very good friend John Howard is in here also. First day on the job, have you even thought about what is the very first thing you're going to do? Next to finding the key to the restroom, but after that.
Pray. Have a long prayer, and just go in with the cabinet and the transitional team that we put together, and actually find out exactly what is going on, because there's so many different rumors. You can't really trust what an audit say because they play with the numbers. But the one thing that I find very interesting is, so we're talking about the unions and the collective bargaining agreements and things like that. The day one, I would want to sit down with the unions and the elected officials and say, hey, listen, can we sit down and let's project our numbers to say, can we cut back some of this cost? Because, they gave them the kitchen sink in the total house, but no one looked at the projected numbers. So when they made the initial agreement, they looked at, the projected numbers were way higher than expected. So they were projecting 83% of tax levy money, and now we're getting 60%, and at some point we was getting 48%. So we have to go back and look at that, and then that's how you make the necessary adjustments and move forward.
It's certainly a daunting task. You work for the Park District, but do you have a finance background? I mean, this is high stuff.
Well, I have a non-for-profit background, and I used to do non-for-profit. And, if you're dealing with anything with the state or federal government, it's kind of like you got to make sure you have a penny over here because you never know when another penny's going to come. So my financial background as a small business owner is I used to get people registered to become licensed daycare providers and open up their business, show them how to pay taxes and things like that. So that's how I got my financial background, and just helping people understand the business. And that's what we want to do in the city of Harvey. We want to start bringing in more small businesses so that we can get the medium income up so we can keep moving.
Well, obviously, it worked in the Park District, so
yes.
It should carry right over. When we come back, I want to go back just a little bit and talk a little bit more about the whole corruption thing, because there is a part of that bothers me a little bit that I want to talk about. So we'll talk about that and more when we return with more on Target Radio. And you're listening to AM 560, The Answer.
Not a day goes by without a terrorist attack somewhere in the world, or violence right here in our own streets. It can be paralyzing, which is why we're here at AM 560. We try to make sense of it all, but sometimes you're looking for a deeper understanding of life's most troubling issues. We'd like to encourage you to check out our sister station, AM 1160, Hope for Your Life. We'll still be here when you come back, but give them a listen at AM 1160 or online at 1160hope.com, because even when you have the answers, you still need hope.
Fox News Radio, I'm Mike Piazza. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office says 3 people are dead, including a gunman identified as David Katz, after a mass shooting at a Riverside Mall in Jacksonville, Florida. Jacksonville Sheriff Mike Williams.
The single suspect in this case is a white male, and this is pending confirmation, but we believe the suspect to be 24-year-old David Katz from Baltimore, Maryland.
The Baltimore office of the FBI is searching the man's house as part of the investigation. Remembering a war hero, former Secretary of State John Kerry on CBS's Face the Nation.
A story of 2 guys who had a different point of view about a major event in American history, who found a way to come together.
Kerry, also a Vietnam vet, said that in his upcoming memoir, he wrote about the understanding about Vietnam he formed with Senator McCain. Fox News. We report. You decide.
Hard drives fail. Viruses destroy data. Having a copy of your work, photographs, financial records, and other important files is one step in a thorough backup plan. Geekometrics offers a secure online solution by placing a copy of your data off-site where it's safe from theft, fire, and unauthorized access. Losing photos and financial information is devastating. Geekometrics' secure online backup solution is a reliable way to back up important files. The most common reasons for not backing up are uncertainty about what needs to be backed up and how to do it reliably. Geekometrics provides a full-service managed solution with no storage limit. Geekometrics does all of the setup, configuring, testing, and monitoring. Your data is even safe when you travel with your Mac or PC laptop. Call 630-759-9283 to talk to a specialist who can help you keep your data safe. 630-759-9283. Geekometrics, helping you keep your data safe.
Safer USA, Chicago's most trusted name in firearm training, is offering beginners classes, tactical pistol and rifle, long-range rifle to 600 yards, and the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. AM 560 On Target Radio co-hosts David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz will prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm, holster, and ammunition selection. A comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble and even how to deal with home invasions. Firearm, ammunition, holster, class notebook are provided. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invite you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com.
Or call 815-741-3474. That's 815-741-3474. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
As a parent, you want what's best for your children. That means sending them to a school where they'll get the superior education they deserve, and that also shares your values. That can be tricky these days, as public schools have changed and private schools can be expensive. Your household budget has already been cut to the bone, and it's hard to imagine where you'll find that extra money. Well, there's help to lessen that financial burden and provide your child with the very best education at half the cost. At AM 560 The Answer, we work with private schools throughout the Chicagoland area to provide tuition for families at half the normal cost. Just log on to halfpriceschools.com and you'll find some of Chicagoland's finest private schools, from preschool all the way through high school, at half the cost. And chances are there's a school right in your neighborhood. Invest in your child's education and future at halfpriceschools.com. A limited number of half-price vouchers are available. Go to halfpriceschools.com now.
Deb, I'm so done with today. Traffic was awful. I couldn't stop for coffee. I have conference calls all morning, plus all these reports to go through. And look, it's 75 and sunny, and I'm stuck in here.
Relax. It's going to be an awesome day. Corporate is throwing a picnic in the parking lot for lunch, and they ordered tasty catering.
What? Did I miss the memo?
Apparently. It's going to be great. They got burgers, grilled chicken, sides, the works. You know, Tasty Catering's picnic food is excellent.
Oh, yeah, I know. We had them for our holiday party.
Today, they're bringing out the Make Your Own Burger Creation Station. They have everything you can think of, like sriracha, blue cheese crumbles, bacon, sautéed mushrooms, and caramelized onions. And they serve it straight off the grill, the way a great burger should be.
Okay, maybe there's still hope for today. I just hope I don't spill mustard on this new tie. Good thing I've got my bib.
You have a bib?
You don't?
Tasty Catering's picnic menu has all the delicious summertime food favorites you crave and more. Go to tastycatering.com to peruse mouth-watering picnic menus and start planning your picnic today. tastycatering.com.
Now return to On Target on AM 560. The Answer. If you have a question or opinion, the studio line is 312-642-5600. Now, here's your host, firearm expert and educator, David Lombardo.
And we're back with more On Target Radio. Give us a call, 312-642-5600. We are with the future mayor of Harvey, Anthony McCaskill, and our old friend John Howard. This is a little bit touchy here, but on the corruption issue, we're talking about some pretty big money that's going back and forth, are we not?
Yes.
You got body armor?
Not yet, but hopefully I can get some. Well, I got my 9mm and my 40 and my 45, so
I mean, I joke a lot, but I'm going to tell you, you start piddling with people who are making big money doing whatever they're doing, and you got to be careful.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're prepared for that as well. Of
course. John's your friend.
Big John's my boy, so I'll be calling him to help out.
That helps. That helps a bit.
Oh, yeah.
We can probably do a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No doubt.
Well, I would worry about it because, you don't mess with people who are intentionally committing crimes and making lots of money because they've got a vested interest and they're not going to let you get in the way.
Absolutely.
That's really the tough. It's easy to identify corruption, and it's easy to solve it. The question is do you survive that act? And I'm actually being quite serious.
I think one of the issues is if the elected officials are part of the corruption, the public corruption, you'll never stop it, right? So you bring in an inspector general that's separate and apart from the city council, separate apart from the police department, and the inspector general is the one who actually identifies the crime, identifies the corruption. And if it's the elected officials, those will be the first ones that goes because they're the one make the laws in the policy. So it's not really that hard, Dave. I mean, it is a lot. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot, but bringing in an inspector general is the only way you're going to solve the corruption in politics in Harvey.
And I think you're right. I'm just thinking of Trump. When, with all the people that stacked the deck against him, when he turns to his own law enforcement agency, the FBI, he discovers that they're on their side. I mean, they're just as bad as the rest of them, and so too was apparently the NSA with the security briefings and stuff. I mean, when they talk about draining the swamp,
it's a big job.
It is
it's huge,
and that nobody. Well, that's not true. There have people who've disappeared.
That's true.
There are people.
That's true. Well, the other thing that I would throw out there. I mean, you've been an elected official for a while because you're on the Park District Board, but. And I know the answer, but I want to give you an opportunity to say it.
Go ahead.
Is how do you keep from getting sucked into that? Once you become the mayor, how do you keep from being tainted by the other elected officials who do have ulterior motives?
Continue to keep my job. I work for Ford Motor Company, so they take care of me and my family pretty well. And I think what happens is people get elected and they quit their jobs, and then whatever comes their way, they have their hand out, and whatever catches, they bring into the household. But I think that the number one issue is if you bring in an inspector general, and the inspector general, and that's not just for the city of Harvey, but for the school district, for the park district, for the library district as well, that person can identify, have the authority to make arrestments, have authority to make the adjustments to the state's attorney's office, to the attorney general's office, because you cannot stop corruption in the city of Harvey or the state or the city of Chicago without identifying that the elected officials are the ones that's behind the public corruption. And I say that, and I took, in the park district, when I identified corruption, I didn't have any resources. I was like a one-man gang. And I took some lumps upside the head, but we fought it. We won against public corruption in the park district.
I mean, you really don't know how widespread this is throughout the city government. Certainly there are good people in the city government, but you really don't know. And people who you think are wonderful people may not be, and people that look shady may not be that either. It's going to be a tough job.
It's tough, but the one thing about Harvey, everything is intertwined, from the park district to the school district. Everybody works for the other agency, right? So people at the park district work for the city of Harvey. People at the school district, so people that work for the city of Harvey works for the school district. So everybody's in one big circle. And so all you got to do is close that circle, and you'll find the corruption.
Sure.
How about the police department there? What are the plans with making improvements at the public safety?
Well, with the police department, first of all, we're not going to have 8 or 9 deputy chiefs. We're not going to have 6 or 7 commanders. We're going to go back to the old school, 1 chief, 1 deputy chief, and maybe 3 watch commanders. But we want to bring in outside resources to help the police department because crime is so rampant, and the police officers cannot stop it by themselves. So we're going to definitely look for outside resources to bring in, some agencies to come in and help us attack crime, and that's the only way you can get it done. And that's just my opinion.
Sounds to me like he was talking to Fairman.
Yeah, sounds like.
I mean, that's basically what John said about Cook County.
Right. I was going to say outside resources.
Yeah.
Sometimes officials that are elected into office are afraid to use outside resources. And just
they're afraid,
yeah.
John, because they're part of the problem.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? So if you're not a part of the problem, you're not gonna.
Yeah,
you have nothing to be afraid of.
So when we come back, the one thing I want to hit on is you solve all the problems. How are you going to attract back home buyers and businesses? That's what we'll talk about when we return with more on Target Radio. And you're listening to AM 560.
The Answer.
Do you like your gun range bag? There's a really cool local company here in Chicagoland that makes the finest range bags anywhere. And these quality range bags are so inexpensive that I bet you won't hesitate to buy one. The Hackett range bags from Hackett Equipment have it all. There are compartmentalized pouches that hold 2 or 4 pistols, ammo, mags, and even targets. Basically everything you need for a day at the range in a stealth design that doesn't resemble a range bag. Nobody will know you're carrying firearms. Additionally, they're super heavy duty and will last a lifetime because Hackett bags are 30% heavier than typical range bags. And the price is unreal. The large pack is under $100 and the small one under $80. But if you visit gunrangebags.com and use the promo code AM560, you'll save an additional 10%. Hackett Equipment bags really are range bags that can hack it. That's gunrangebags.com, promo code AM560. Gunrangebags.com. Do it now.
Hey, honey, what's going on?
I was just logging in and checking on our account, and I thought we were going to do better this year.
I know. I've been trying to watch what I spend. No more stopping for coffee for me.
I don't think giving up coffee is going to do it. We need more income for our day-to-day, not to mention setting aside something for the kids' college and our retirement.
Man, I wish there was an answer.
For most of us, no one ever taught us how to invest, yet it's a skill that we all need. If you're looking to generate extra income, Online Trading Academy, the leader in financial education, can help. Attend one of Online Trading Academy's free introductory classes, and they'll show you how to create monthly, weekly, or even daily income using their patented supply and demand strategy. Plus, this month, they'll send you home with their free investor kit, loaded with guides to smarter investing and lessons from the pros just for attending. Register now by calling 888-984-TRADE, 888-984-8723, or OTAChicago.com, 888-984-TRADE, or OTAChicago.com.
What if you could enjoy total peace of mind when it comes to home security? What if the best technology came from a local company who puts the customer's needs first? Alarm Detection Systems is the right choice for an alarm system with complete control from your phone or tablet. Know when your children arrive home from school. View live streaming video. Check up on your pets. Receive alerts for extreme temperatures. Know if leaks or floods have been detected. Get real-time text alerts sent to your phone. Family-owned and operated since 1968, Alarm Detection Systems understands that nothing is more important than the safety of your family. Your security system will be monitored by our central station in Aurora, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Alarm Detection Systems is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Our on-site security consultation is always free. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6322. That's 630-844-6322. Alarm license number 127000143.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM 560, The Answer, with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life. To participate, call the studio at 312-642-5600.
And we're back with more On Target Radio. Our guests this evening are Anthony McCaskill, the up-and-coming, going to be elected mayor of Harvey, Illinois, and our old friend John Howard. So you solve all the problems. So the first week, you solve the whole corruption thing. The second week, you solve all the financial chaos and you pay off all your bills. Now you're going to rest probably a week, don't you think? That's fair. We'll let you rest for a week.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And you notice I didn't say the first day and the second day because that's, he's
Only God can
He's
do
not God, right. So we give him a week. So you solve all those things. How are you going to get people to, and I don't mean to demean Harvey, but look, I've been through Harvey several times. It's boarded up. It looks like a combat zone. Now, there are nice areas, I know, but going through Harvey, how are you going to bring businesses back to that and get people to buy homes there?
Well, my concept, and it's been my concept since day one, is to take it block by block. right? So you identify a block with abandoned homes. You identify a block where maybe, you know, homeowners or banks or the house are just, you know, uninhabitable. And you figure out, can you get people to buy these homes? You give them to, you know, don't try to make money off them. Just give them the houses, right? Give them a house and say, hey, you got 6 months to 9 months to get this house back on the tax roll. Get somebody in there and you move forward. Then you start working on raising the median income. The median income for Harvey is below poverty, right? Federal poverty. So I think the median income is like $22,000 to $23,000. No one, and you know, I hear different people talk about try to bring a business to the city of Harvey. No one is going to bring a business to Harvey until the median income is raised, because no one, who's going to buy the product?
Buy the stuff, right?
Who's going to buy the product?
We got a phone call.
Yes.
Somebody wants to ask you a question. Jason is on the line. Jason, you have a question for Anthony.
Yes, I'm listening down here from Atlanta. You guys are doing great, by the way. I just had a question for a city like Harvey. Is there anything that you can do to partner up with bigger companies to help bring in more jobs, or for bigger companies to be able to provide resources which will allow them to pay? Like, I know some companies pay to provide the Wi-Fi for the entire city. Is that something that can be done to be able to bring in funds in a big way to help the city?
Absolutely. I think, Jason, that what happens is, you know, people want to have a trust factor, right? So when companies look at your flow chart or your organization chart, and they say the first thing they see is Inspector General, then they see the mayor, then they see the treasurer, the clerk, and the alderman, I think people say, okay, these guys are serious about fighting corruption, making sure that money goes where it's supposed to go. People, you know, with grants and opportunities like that will definitely come in and say, hey, listen, let's give these guys an opportunity, a chance to show themselves. So I think that we can do that all. I think everything that you're saying is on point. I think we can do it all.
Jason, how did you hear about us?
I saw, I'm from the city of Harvey. I have a lot of family up there, so I'm very active in the politics that go on there. I'm very invested in seeing the city get back on its feet. I'm a potential home investor that's looking at the city and would like to help, but the crime is something that scares me. So when I tuned in tonight and got to hear what Mr. McCaskill was saying, it got me very inspired and wanting to be able to help. So it's just, you know, I had some questions and I was able to tune in. You guys are doing a really great job on the question.
Well, good. Thank you very much for listening. I appreciate it. Well, there you
go. We have a question on YouTube. YouTube watcher is suggesting tech startups. And have you know, maybe tech startups would be interested, cheap real estate.
Well, yeah. I mean, so the one thing that you got to realize is that there's a two-part. There's a business part of Harvey, and there's a residential. The businesses are suffering so much because the income rate is about 26%. So for every dollar that most businesses make, 26%, which is 26 cents, is going straight towards taxes. So they have to use the rest to make, you know, payroll and also make a profit. But the other part of it is, like, my property insurance on my home is almost $7,000, and I'm paying all this money. And there's no resources. So what you have to do is, when you talk about bringing in different people for business, you gotta give them a tax break, right? But you got to just clean up. I mean, Harvey it's sad because I've been there my whole life, and it's just to see it the way it is. It's just unbelievable the way it's turned out.
You know, but that's an interesting point, because a tech company doesn't derive its income local.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
So they could literally be anywhere.
Yes.
They could set up like a job training program.
Yes.
And take people from the community who need jobs, and they've got a low overhead place to actually set up. I mean, that has some possibilities.
Yeah.
You need to go to work for him. At the rates they pay today.
It wasn't me. It was Crispy Critters on
okay,
YouTube. Well, so I take no credit for the idea.
It is a good idea.
Yeah,
though,
it is a good idea.
It is a good idea. The other thing I'm going to say, I'm going to take another break here, but the other thing that I will say is this: what they discovered, like in Joliet, giving people homes is a good idea, but there's got to be sweat equity. Because what literally happened when you just give people stuff, but in Joliet they did that. It was what do they call Homes for Habitat?
Habitat for Humanity.
I'm close. It's H's. I know it was that, but Habitat for Humanity. And so the deal was, you got a house for very cheap and no interest, but you had to be in the house helping build it.
Okay.
And that now you've got a vested interest. You got sweat equity in it. You're not going to trash the house.
My dad said they don't finish everything. So they'll like maybe a second bathroom or like certain things they'll rough it in, but they don't like finish everything, and that's up to the homeowner to finish it.
That's a good idea because see, the reason why.
No.
When we come back.
Well, we're gonna.
All right.
We got to take a break.
Okay.
And when we come back, we're going to do Gretchen's actions items, all that, and we'll find out what. He'll have about 15 seconds to say what he was going to say. So all that and more when we return with On Target Radio. And you're listening to AM 560. The Answer. Hard drives fail. Viruses destroy data. Having a copy of your work, photographs, financial records, and other important files is one step in a thorough backup plan. Geekometrics offers a secure online solution by placing a copy of your data off-site where it's safe from theft, fire, and unauthorized access. Losing photos and financial information is devastating. Geekometrics' secure online backup solution is a reliable way to back up important files. The most common reasons for not backing up are uncertainty about what needs to be backed up and how to do it reliably. Geekometrics provides a full-service managed solution with no storage limit. Geekometrics does all of the setup, configuring, testing, and monitoring. Your data is even safe when you travel with your Mac or PC laptop. Call 630-759-9283 to talk to a specialist who can help you keep your data safe. 630-759-9283. Geekometrics, helping you keep your data safe.
My name is Todd. I am a firefighter, paramedic. I'm a husband, I'm a dad, and I am no longer suffering from depression. With depression, you don't want to make friends. You just want to be alone. And it was a way of life for me. I have been seeing a psychologist for several years and not really getting anywhere. I've tried 11 different medications, which some of the side effects that I experienced were pretty severe. I finally reached out for help myself. It's very satisfying to know that something works.
HPR centers in Chicagoland and Milwaukee offer TMS therapy. In just a few weeks, you can change your life, and it's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Medicare. You can make real progress in the battle with depression, cure or remission. Get a free consultation. 800-604-0208. 800-604-0208. HPR centers. Go to endmydepression.com. End your depression.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM 560, The Answer, with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life. Stand by. Here's Gretchen with your action items for the week.
Join On Target Radio at the Fox Valley Friends of NRA fundraiser on Saturday, September 15th, 4:30 p.m. at Gaslight Manor in Aurora. Individual dinner tickets are $50. Table and raffle ticket packages also available. Go to friendsofnra.org for tickets and information. I put the link on our Facebook page this afternoon. And for our Ottawa area listeners, you're invited to a Second Amendment rally with special guest Mark Keith Robinson, Saturday, September 15th at 5 p.m. at Pitsticks Pavilion on Route 23 in Ottawa. Tickets are $20 and include a chance and a gun raffle. Free admission for active duty military and first responders. Join On Target Radio for the 33rd Annual Gun Rights Policy Conference, September 21st to 23rd at the Hyatt Regency, Chicago O'Hare Airport in Rosemont. Hear and meet luminaries of the Second Amendment community. The conference is sponsored by the Citizens Committee for the Right to Keep and Bear Arms and the Second Amendment Foundation, who make it free to attend. Attendees also receive a plethora of books and other informational materials. Register now by emailing grpc2018@saf.org. I put this information on Facebook earlier today. The following Safer USA classes are at our facility in Waterman. Saturday and Sunday, September 1st and 2nd. Illinois Concealed Carry 1. This 16-hour class will be taught by David and Gretchen and meets the training requirements for Illinois Concealed Carry as well as Florida and Arizona. Sunday, September 23rd, Introduction to Tactical Pistol, taught by David. To sign up for classes, go to saferusa.com, click on Register.
And I have just, as of yesterday, or the day before, we now have our renewal.
Illinois Concealed Carry.
Concealed Carry renewal.
The 3-hour renewal class.
They're up starting in September. So if you need a renewal, we begin that in September. Our guest, I think if you put out a request for some help or something, particularly with your campaign, you might get exactly that, Anthony. So why don't you just tell them a little bit how they can get a hold of you if they want to.
Sure. So to contact the McCaskill for Mayor Campaign 2019, you can call us at 708-441-4426. Again, that's 708-441-4426. Or you can email us at info@mccaskill2019.com.
John, you got anything you want to pitch?
Well, yeah. Before we close out, I better say hi to Kiari, Kyle, Jalea, and Michelle.
What is this, Art Linkletter or something? Next Rosie O'Donnell is going to be on the show. Yeah. I don't know. You want to say anything to anybody as long as we're doing this? Relatives, you want to say hi?
No, I mean, I'm on the show every week. Remember me?
No, I can't see you. You're just like you're hidden behind.
I'm wearing 5-inch heels. What do you want from me?
Well, there it is. I don't know. We do wish you the best in your endeavor. Anthony.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
It's going to be tough to get elected. It's going to be tougher to be elected. Yeah. And just really listen to what he has to say, because I seriously worry a little bit. Whenever there's that kind of money involved, it could get dicey. I don't know. Anyway, we'd like to thank you for taking time to listen to On Target Radio, and particularly to thank Anthony McCaskill and John Howard for being our guests this evening.
We'd also like to thank George Hoffman on the board, Eric Allen, our video producer. Learn about how you can be a sponsor partner for a lot less than you think. Call 815-741-3474 for details.
And so we're going to launch renewal for concealed carry. It's hard to believe that it's this soon.
Yep. Time flies when you're having fun.
It does indeed. What I haven't seen is how they're going to renew us.
Yeah.
They haven't said how they're going to do that, but we'll find out. Anyway, be sure to listen next week when we'll be talking about more red meat issues that affect your life.